This is Support is Sexy, episode 202, How to Survive the Lows. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm so excited to have you here. You know, it just would not be the same without you. And today I wanted to chat with you a little bit about the highs and the lows. We all go through them in business, in life, certainly. There are high moments, there are low moments. As we say, there are wins and there are lessons. But I feel like we don't often talk enough about the low moments. People are starting to talk about it more and more. Mental health, self-care, all of these things are starting to be much more a part of our consciousness, and the discussion about them is starting to become more acceptable. But I'm talking about just your everyday high, low, how to get through those lows, especially as you build your business. Whether this is a new business or a business that you're growing, there are going to be days when everything is hot and it's popping and you're feeling good. I know in my own journey, just the other day, celebrating episode 200 of the podcast, super grateful, super excited, appreciating all the love and support and just reaching that milestone. Major high. Felt fantastic about it. Still feel fantastic about it. Then just a couple of days later, there's a low for whatever reason. Sometimes, it's not even that it's a big problem that you've encountered or you haven't been triggered by anything specific. We all just have those days. You're allowed. The thing is, I want to talk to you a little bit about some ways you might consider to get through those lows, because there are different ways to get through it. There are different reasons you experience it. But let's talk about some of the ways that you can survive the lows, because they're going to come. It's just a part of business. It's a part of life. So let's talk about it. So one of the first things that I always try to do when I feel like for whatever reason I'm going through a low, or I've hit a roadblock, or I've hit writer's block, or whatever it is in my business that I feel like I'm not able to push through this thing right now. That's the first thing. This whole idea of pushing through. Sure, there are times, there are deadlines, there are reasons that we have to push through and try to make some things happen. Most of the time, though, the first tip, take a break. Even if that break is walking away from the computer, the project, whatever you're working on, just for a few minutes, give yourself a break. Take a deep breath. I've spoken before on the podcast about how I literally have an alarm set on my phone to go off at 5:30 every day to remind myself to take a break. It's called breathing space. Take a breath. Take a minute, step away, take 5 minutes, take a walk, whatever you need to do. Take a break from that thing when you're feeling like you're going through this moment or this low, when you're trying to push through. Because I will say, I've found that when I do try to push through in the low moments, low periods, however long it is, the work is not as good as it can be when I'm feeling better. Again, there are times when you just got to do what you got to do and make it happen. You might not feel like doing it, but you got to push through. Most times, though, a break is just what you need. Sometimes a break is just a glass of water. It doesn't have to be any grandiose thing. Take a break. You need to hit reset. You need to hit refresh. That's what it is. You need to hit refresh and give yourself a minute so you can go at that thing with a fresh mind, fresh eyes, fresh thoughts, fresh everything. Give yourself permission to take a break. The second thing I will say, depending on what that low is or what you're experiencing or what you're feeling in that moment, treat yourself. Now, treat yourself doesn't have to be a trip to the spa, although that's lovely, but it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be anything you spend a fortune on. It doesn't have to be a trip around the world, although again, lovely. Treat yourself might be something like, you know what, tonight I'm not going to work on anything. I'm just going to take the night off and watch my favorite show on Netflix. Or I'm going to treat myself to a Starbucks. Or I'm going to treat myself in some other way, a long bath, whatever is treating yourself for you. Maybe treating yourself is just turning off the computer. For me, that feels like a major treat. I spend time with my parents and my family. We watch one of our favorite shows that we've taped on DVR, because who watches anything in real time time anymore, right? But for me, that's a treat. I might still be thinking about work. I might still even be feeling low or going through whatever it is at that time, but I'm treating myself. I'm giving myself some space to just do that thing that I really want to do in that moment that feels good to me. So again, give yourself permission to treat yourself. You not only deserve it, but it will probably make you feel better when you go back in to deal with whatever it is you're dealing with in your business at that time. Another thing that I try to remember to do whenever I'm going through those lows, take inventory. We always talk about gratitude. We all know that it's something that is an important part of our practice. But whenever I have feelings of anxiety or angst or frustration or anything about the business or what I'm trying to create, or things aren't going either as fast as I thought, as big as I thought, or whatever these things that I get in my mind of not enough or that whole thing, take inventory. I take inventory of the things that have been accomplished, not just to make myself feel better of, well, look at all the things that you've accomplished. It's more of, look at all of the things that you have to be grateful for as it relates to business or otherwise, but certainly in the business. For me, it's impact. Look at all of the people who have reached out and said that what you say on the podcast, for example, or what you've written or what you shared at a conference or a panel or an event, look at how this person, it could just be one person. One person is a big difference. Look at how this one person says what you said, did, the time you spent with them really impacted them. You have to be grateful for that, not just because this person is celebrating you, but because the work that you're doing is creating an impact in the world. So for you, maybe you're at the stage where you haven't really started your business, you're just thinking about it. Be grateful for the mind that you have that can come up with this idea to create this thing, the heart that you have that wants to create something that really impacts the world, the resources that you have that are around you that you're going to tap into to help you create this thing. There's always a way to find a way to be grateful. And doing so, I find, truly helps you in those moments to, it's a reality check is really what it is. One, get over yourself. Second, look at all the things that you have to be grateful for and don't get caught up in the idea of lack or what you don't have. You have an abundance of things to be grateful for. Now, when I say get over yourself, I'm not being dismissive of your feeling in that low, but it is a reality check to sort of thump you on the head and say, hey, look at all of this. As we always say, what's wrong is always available, right? But think about what's right, what's going well, what you're experiencing in the good way, what you're creating in the good way, all of these things that you have to be grateful for. Don't forget those things. Another thing to do in those low moments, think about your why. As they say, remember your why. Your why is the reason that you're creating this business. Your why is the reason that it's important to you. Your why is the reason that you will keep going after you take a break through those lows, right? Remember your why. Think about your why. Why are you doing this? There has to be a reason. Why is it important to you? Why does it matter to you? Why will it matter to other people? Think about your why. Sometimes the why is the only reason that you have in those moments to keep pushing. Maybe you're doing this thing because you want to support your family. Maybe you're doing this thing because you want to leave a legacy for your children. Maybe you're doing this thing because it's something that you've always dreamt of or an idea you've always had and you've been sitting on it for years. Your why is that you finally want to do this and put this out in the world. During those low moments when things might not be going well or things are moving slowly or whatever challenge you face, think about your why. Don't forget the reason why you're doing this in the first place. And only you know it. Even if you shared it with other people, maybe what you shared wasn't the full truth of your why or the full extent of your why. But really think about it. And in fact, what you can do, something that I love to do, have been doing it since I'm 16, journal. You can write it down, even if you've written it down before. In that moment, get out a journal, piece of paper, your phone in the notes section if you have to, whatever you have to do to get that why in front of you. Visually, in your mind, think about your why. That will be something that will help you get through those low moments, remembering why you're doing it in the first place. And the next thing to do in the low moments, I'm all about this. You got to tap into your network because support is sexy. Is there someone that you can talk to as you're going through this experience? Is there a friend? Is there a business associate? Is there a coach? Is there someone who can give you feedback, support whenever you're going through this low, especially depending on what the low is in your business or your personal life? Who is the person you can go to? Is it a mentor, an advisor, someone that you recently connected with, that you want to connect with, who might be helpful. Who is someone you can talk to? Who is someone you can tap into as far as your network in order to get support? As I say, support is sexy, so you have to think about that. Now, if you're someone who's listening and you say, well, hey, I don't have anybody, I don't know anyone who could support me in those low moments, that is the first order of business. You have to have people, even if it's not someone you speak to every day, that you talk to all the time, that you email all the time, but you have to have people that you can reach out to if needed when you need support, whatever that is, especially as you're building a business, because there are going to be, if you're a solopreneur, some low moments, some lonely times, sometimes when you don't know where to turn and you just need some advice or some input or someone just to share your experiences. Sometimes people don't even know the advice. They may just understand your experiences and be able to support you. For me, for example, I have an online mastermind for Support is Sexy. There's a fabulous group of women in there. When I have a question or when any of them have a question, we post it in there. Now, I'm sure everybody's not sharing every single moment they go through, but whether that's, hey, I'm about to do something new with my business. What do you think? Hey, I'm looking for a location for this. Hey, I'm going through this. This is my challenge. I'm having a challenge with my team. What do you think about this? Whatever it is, we can post it in there and get feedback. So I use that as an example because I want you to think about, can it be something beyond a person that I know or someone that I'm actually in touch with? That group, that mastermind, is a part of your network. Or maybe it's an entrepreneur group in your area or something online that you can join. Those spaces serve as a resource for you when you're going through those lows. They are your support network. So again, if you don't have that in your life right now, if you don't have that as a part of your business right now, there's no excuse. It doesn't have to be who you know. It's how you connect with these different organizations, groups, online, in-person, meetups, whatever. Make that your first order of business so that when you're going through that period, you know where you can go for support. And lastly, I'll say, in all seriousness, depending on how low your low is, we talked about self-care. Also want to mention therapy. There are plenty of people that you can talk to, professionals who will help you through the low, depending on how low this low really is. And only you know that. Only you can judge that. Only you know what you're really feeling, experiencing, thinking. So if professional help is what you need, do not hesitate to get that. Plenty of ways to find therapists. You can ask friends, or if it's something that you don't want to share with anyone, you can look online. You can ask your healthcare professional. You can ask your insurance company. A lot of times companies or jobs that you're working within, they have an employee program where they can help you get support. Make sure you talk to someone if you're really in a low or you've been in a low for a long time. Again, this is related to your business or in your personal life. There is help out there for you. It might not be someone you know. It might not be your pastor. It might not be your girlfriend or your friend or your boyfriend. It might be a therapist, someone who can give you professional feedback on what you're going through. And this doesn't mean that they're trying to fix you. They're there to support you. It's just another form of support. Sometimes, in fact, all the times, we all have blind spots, even in our own lives, things that we never thought about. I know I went to therapy years ago after a tough relationship, after some things with work, just through a stressful time. And there were things about myself, things from childhood, things that I was doing as an adult that I didn't realize. There are certain patterns in our lives that are hard for us to always recognize because it's our lives. We're busy living it, not observing it, right? So a therapist or a professional can help you see those patterns, talk to you about it, talk you through it, and then you can course correct and do the things you need to do. So again, depending on the lows, what you're going through, and how long you've been there, make sure that you get support in all seriousness, because we want you to be well. We want you to be okay. We want you to make a comeback and get back on that high, because that's what this whole thing is about. You go through the lows, but the high is the goal. You want to be okay. You want to celebrate your journey. You want to feel good on most days. But there are going to be times when, for whatever reason, you do go through those low points. So now hopefully you have a few ideas on what to do to get through those low points. And hey, if you need somebody just to reach out to real quick, you can email me, Elayne at ElayneFluker.com, at Elayne Fluker all over social media, and at Support is Sexy. The thing is, I want to make sure you have some tools, some ideas, some resources for support for you when you're in those high points. Of course, we're going to celebrate you, but also when you go through the low points. All right, so thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. And now, go out there and create something sexy, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.